Well, Amir, I mean, I've followed your career and worked with you for now on 20 years. I think it is more or less 20 years, amateur and pro. Surprised to be sitting in front of you in circumstances like this today, asking you about, a positive test that you've had at what was your final fight against Kell Brook. Yeah. Listen, I'll ask you the question first up. Did you ever ahead of this fight knowingly take a performance-enhancing substance?
I never did, no. I never took anything which was illegal. Obviously, I have a big team around me to make sure that I'm taking the right supplements and the right things. So when it first came that I was positive, I mean, it was more of a shock to me and the team and everybody. I was tested throughout the whole training camp. This result of me being positive came out literally weeks after the fight, which normally you think it'll be only a week. Because it was weeks after the fight, it was hard for me to then think what did I do wrong, or was there something I took or something I was taking, any other vitamins, so I can then pick up on what I've been taking and I can then work out how that substance is in my body. So it was a big shock to me, and that's why I wanted to come out. And as soon as it was announced in the newspaper, I said, I want to come out and give my. I don't want to hide away.
So just to be clear about the chronology, this positive test was from the night of the fight itself?
Yeah, so this positive test was the night of the fight against Kell Brook. Throughout the whole training camp, I was tested around about 8 times, and I was
including
negative.
A week before, I think.
Including a week before, yeah, and I was negative, and it was just probably days before when I must have been positive in that test. Went into the fight. It's probably the worst performance I've ever had as a fighter. Didn't feel like myself, and then realised that maybe it's time to call it a day from the sport of boxing. I retired after that.
Well, I remember. I was there. How do you explain the presence of Ostarine then in your system?
Now, when I have no idea, it could be meeting people, shaking people's hand. See, the amount of Ostarine that was in my blood, it was 0.5. Which is literally, say, Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's smaller than a grain of salt. So I don't know how, it got into my system. Shaking hands, maybe sharing a drink with somebody. I don't know how it came in my system.
Can you back that up in terms of the quantity? I mean, you've had the findings. You've had the official
yes.
Explanation of what UKAD found.
Yes. So I've got the result from UKAD. If I can read it out to you by the tribunal, it was there is no rational explanation as to where the athlete who has been tested negative on 3 occasions between the 20th of January and 12th of February should have been contemplated before the fight, taking a very small dose, which would give no performance-enhancing advantage or any other pharmacological effect which a professional boxer might hope to obtain for such a small dose. Nor could be a rational motive to experiment with a microdose in a period leading up to the fight. So, the results say there, it couldn't have changed my performance. It couldn't have changed with the amount that was in my blood. It could not have made me any stronger, any better. It was such a tiny amount which somehow got into the system.
UKAD's report, quite technical language, Amir, but what's the key conclusion as far as you're concerned?
Well, it states here that UKAD have agreed and said that it was not taken purposely, and the amount that was found in my body was not going to give me any benefit going into the fight. And this is from UKAD. This is what they've stated.
Are you sorry that this has happened? I mean,
look, I am very sorry.
You have to take responsibility,
I have to take some sort of responsibility. Yes, I have to. And the day it's been found in my system, but I can honestly say to the public and to everyone out there is something I would never ever do. It's such a tiny amount which was not in any benefit at all. I don't know how it got in there, but like I said, I should maybe have taken a little bit more precaution, maybe made sure that I was, I just don't know how it got in there. And I am very sorry about it.
You've been a remarkable figure in British sport, not just British boxing.
And I don't want to be remembered for something like this.
Well, that's the point. How much does that potentially hurt?
Yeah, exactly. That'll hurt me a lot, because if people remember me for just this incident that happened, I think it'll always upset me, because I know it was never done by purpose. But like I said, we just have to hopefully people believe me, and maybe take more precaution now. And other fighters, especially the young up-and-coming fighters, maybe they can learn from me how mistakes can happen.
And in terms of your legacy and all the work that you do, the Amir Khan Foundation, you know, remember what you did in lockdown in Bolton as well.
I don't want it to tarnish that, because this is something is very close to my heart, doing charity work, going different parts of the world, Africa, Pakistan, and doing charity work and stuff. And like, I've come for the trip. I've come now is to do 3-4 charity dinner events for the Amir Khan Foundation. So I don't want it to tarnish that, you know, in any way, because I've always been a true fighter. All my life, I've been a true fighter, a real fighter, someone that's respected the sport. So I hope that this is something that doesn't really tarnish it in any way.